This episode is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Wicked Theory. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
How about a microphone broadcasting to you live from the Science Lab at Midtown Tech? This is the Wicked Theory Podcast.
I still need a microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, a little bit for you too?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the most professional podcast you have ever heard, the Wicked Theory Podcast. I'm Bill Sweeney, I'm your host, and let's look around the table. Things have changed. Who do we got this week? We got Jay.
I'm here, rock and roll.
Rock and roll. We got Bob. He's on the rock and roll. That's his official task.
Hey, what's up?
And Ed, you got anything you want to say?
Just one more thing.
All right, whatever that is, that's his quote of the week. Thanks, Ed. Anything else, Ed?
You want answers?
I want the truth!
Jesus Christ, Ed, take it easy. Christ.
Yeah, somebody's a little tardy.
Someone's late.
Yeah.
We're going to have to write him up a slip, I think.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to have to put a little mark in his book.
There will be
Well,
a...
he could go to detention with MJ.
There you go. Right. Yeah, right. We're in Midtown Tech today.
A decrease
Go
in
to call,
pay.
What was that?
A decrease in pay.
Yeah, certainly some kind of demotionary
Maybe we just
repercussion.
make him pay your tolls every year.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to pay my fucking bridge toll.
Woof, the price you pay.
Ed fucked up. That's
Well, I predict he'll come in like a whirlwind because he is on the way, and it'll be like, guys,
Well, he's got to be punished.
All right.
So we're going to give him a punishment in the after show.
Fair enough. Yeah. So when he gets here, we'll hear him.
Home.
So
Thank you for that.
So this is episode 113.
Ooh.
We're gonna get to some news, the DC TV report. We're gonna get to email. If you want to get involved, you should be in the chat room. We do this live every Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Mixlr, mixlr.com/wicked-theory. Get in the chat room right now. We got a couple people in there this week. Let's finish out. I got ahead of myself. Send us email if you want to send us email. We're going to get to that. You can send it to podcast@wickedtheory.com. Little heads up. Just want to let some people know. Preacher vs. Preacher returned. That's our other show. And also this week we did a special Spider-Man episode with spoilers and without. Without spoilers is the brief upfront part where we just kind of give you a little glaze. And then we kind of get all into it. We had a good time. It's one of the first times we had the entire Wicked Theory official staff.
Yes, that was my first time sitting with Dom.
Yeah, and you guys didn't go to blow to blows or anything.
No.
It was good.
No, it was
good.
fine.
It was good. It was fine. No fracas.
And he was saving all his energy for Ed.
Yeah.
And now Ed didn't show
Who we
up
all have
today.
blow to blows with.
Yeah. I need the snacks covered up because I will see how fast I went to go eat them.
Right.
And I'm just
Yeah, you don't want to be crunching.
I can't. Well, you know.
In the after show, we'll crunch.
Yeah, we're gonna get away with a little crunchiness. Yeah, so people check that out after you've seen the movie, obviously. But if that's not this week, hey, don't forget about it. Next week or whatever.
It'll be around for quite a while.
Listen to us all bullshit about it, the five of us, and you can see what that's like. It was a good time.
Well, I think it actually, because we had that little pep talk from Dom before the show, I think it actually was like a little organized.
Yeah. It took us a while to devolve, and when we did, it was kind of like it was brief.
Like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was like the last 10, 15
And then
minutes.
it started again.
and then right at the way out, when we all got kind of like that giddy, kind of like silliness. But it was cool. So in the chat room, I think we only got a couple people hanging out this week, but I want to say a big thanks to Wesley because he was there first.
Wesley.
He was chilling, hanging out. And then John Zombie John is in there. Johnny Zombs. And looks like we got 3 elsewheres,
Elsewhere.
you know, and then I don't know. I
I'm
don't know
going
who
to guess one of
people
those
are.
Elsiewares might be Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed? You think he's listening on the go?
Yeah.
And he doesn't want us to know it's him?
Wilbur.
Yeah. I should have said Mr. I should have said Ed.
Just says it, Ed.
Hello, Bob.
Sir Ed, I think is what he likes.
Yeah, Sir Ed.
Well, who
Lord
doesn't?
Ed.
Lord. Well, who wouldn't like Sir, right? It's respectful.
His lateness TBD, to be discussed.
That's Ooh.
To be detention.
His status to be determined.
No, to be detention.
Fine. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll you know, I'm gonna throw it in there anyway because it's the regular guys. It's Wesley and it's John Zombie Johns. If those guys want something to do around a kick around chat room game, maybe some lesser known insect heroes and villains. I have 0 examples for you. And if do we hear noises?
I
Is
hear.
there a creeper?
Oh,
Somebody's
look who decides to show up.
And
Like praying.
Look at this.
what was your example, Bob?
Praying mantis.
There you go. There you go.
So, what happened, Chief?
Your microphone's right in front of you, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Next time, don't blow out the other video, okay?
How about here? Is this good?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, when you're pushing it up an extra 5, you don't have to be right here.
All right.
When you got the gain all the way up.
Audio engineer over there.
Yeah, I don't
Sure.
hear you. I'm not popping my peas.
Not at all.
All right, so what happened?
Edward O'Hare has arrived, ladies and gentlemen.
Someone better have died, or
He is wearing black.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. Do you not want to talk about it because it's not that good of a cool, fun thing, or like?
It's kind of embarrassing.
All right, then maybe we should dodge
so
it.
that means we should give him some shit.
Be like, well, what'd you do?
What happened?
Maybe
Shit
find
yourself.
Oh, you got to say it now.
No, if I told the truth, people would hate me.
Okay, so
What happened? Did you?
now we're just gonna wonder.
Yeah, well, I
shit
think
up.
you should just say it. It makes good radio or podcast.
I've got the
He
Jaga
got caught-
theme
He got
going
caught
right now.
writing anti-Spider-Man Homecoming graffiti.
You got pulled over?
On the side of the theater.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
No,
That's fucked up.
no.
That's a good movie.
That's not embarrassing. My brother's dog wouldn't come in the yard.
Your brother's dog wouldn't what?
My brother's dog wouldn't come inside from the yard.
Are you serious with that?
All right,
All right. So anyway,
I'm moving the fuck on.
I spent an hour trying to get him to come inside because my parents are away at a barbecue and my brother's in,
He's
Army training
he's
camp
army
right
training,
now.
right?
and so they had to call my grandfather, who got him inside and fed in 45 seconds flat.
By using a snack, right? A treat. Like-
Oh, I used treats. I used everything.
The grandpa just grabbed him by the collar and dragged him in.
No, like my grandfather showed up and he just
Oh, loves grandpa.
followed him right up the stairs and into the kitchen.
Like it was like nothing.
Yeah.
why don't you just leave the dog outside?
The lesson
um,
here is that next time,
Yeah.
call Grandpa 45 minutes earlier.
And I'm sitting there covered in sweat
Yeah, sure.
and hatred, really.
Right.
Um,
Well, we could smell the sweat.
See, your hatred should have shifted a long time ago to non-involvement. And, like, you should have really gotten a hard edge and just walked away from mom and dad.
Like, why didn't you
Because
leave
you
the
talk
dog?
about that dog like you don't love that dog. You got no respect. You got no heart for that dog to a certain degree. And
Well, this is again why, I mean, it's bad enough that I hate Canadians, but now that the listeners know,
you found out the dog is Canadian too.
no,
Is that why? Because all right, then fine. No, but my point being is just that, like, it seems like a thing. Like, mom, dad, guys, come on, you're grown-ups now. You can't handle a dog. I'm leaving. I got things to do. I got cocaine to do and horse to bang. Come on.
You should have just left the dog outside and came here.
Well, I mean, in a dream world, but I'm sure he was trying to do the right thing because mom and dad were having a problem. They were struggling with it.
They're out. They're not in town right now.
Oh, they're not in town. The dog just wouldn't come in for you.
Yes.
Because it hates you and knows or just knows how much you dislike it, so
Yeah,
it doesn't
the dog
trust
knows.
you. Fair enough. I'm sorry. I kind of misunderstood that
Yes.
from the jump, that mom and dad weren't there.
Yes.
I thought you were doing them a favor. Well, technically you are because you're watching the dog. Right. What kind of dog is it?
It's a German Shepherd.
But he's like one of those bony ones, right? Like
Big,
like-
giant, enormous.
yeah, but he's like lean, right? Like he looks like he doesn't eat.
Yeah.
It's like Max.
No, like every time someone walks him, another person will come up and offer to breed. Like,
And you're just like sometimes like, how much? Just you can take it for free.
yeah, I don't want that dog.
If they want it to breed,
Yeah, like
You get
he's
offers from-
like he's
so
No,
you have
he's got
dog
good-
fucking in your backyard.
like he's a stud. Like, and then my mother will tell him that he's neutered, and they cry.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
No dog, no fucking for him.
and this is a supposedly beautiful dog.
Yeah, he is. German Shepherds are beautiful.
This has been Dog Talk with Edward O'Hare.
And I feel like I've let out way too much about my personal life in this episode.
I love that Bobby's playing the Twilight Zone theme, as if there's something wrong with you, Edward.
Anywho.
So
Anyway.
there's something wrong with the fact that the dog wouldn't go to him.
Well, that's probably part of it too, and the fact that you tried treats.
Do you beat it?
I
You
left
smack
out a
the shit out-
buffet for him on the front porch.
Do you
and
smack
he
the
just
shit out
ran
of it?
to the backyard, and I forgot my mouse.
It's weird that like, for the food, he won't come for you. I don't know.
Like the whole point was to get him inside so that he could eat his dinner and I could leave.
Right.
Steak. Always
right.
lead him with a piece of steak. He'll become running.
All right. Well, you came in during official business.
I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. It's fine. No. We're gonna slide right back into the show.
I'll help you with news.
Yeah. I'll teach you some things, kid. Show you how it's fucking done. All right. So we were rounding out the official business. PvP is back. We did a Spider-Man episode, and you were there last night. It was a blast, right?
Yes,
Got
it
the
was
whole
a
team together.
It was a lot of fun.
It was. We've soaked all the energy out of you now. You came in with probably barely none, and then we interrogated you.
Oh, that was a good opening line.
Have a beer, Red.
Just go ahead, say it. Say your opening line.
No, I'm looking at
In the dock.
at the one in the dock at the one Bill said.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So speaking of interrogations, actually, I want to give a shout out to Agent Palmer. This month he's got a nice interrogation on there. He does these interviews every now and then with people, little Q&A, and he's got one with Anthony Johnston, who's actually the guy who wrote the book Coldest Winter. That's the source material for Atomic Blonde.
Right.
So me and Palmer did a separate kind of like little recappy review thing if people want to check that out. But Palmer's got a little 8-question interrogation of him, and it's really good. I read it, and it's pretty interesting. It's got some interesting takes on stuff, grounded a little bit in process and stuff like that. So people should go check that out at agentpalmer.com because I'm really proud of our little friend. It's
little thing. Good for him. That's good. That's good news.
He got a little get.
Good for him.
And so with that, we've kind of thrown out the chat room game. Ed looks like he's waking up. I see a smile about something. Might be just checking his emails. I don't know.
It's what Dom Torrey is saying in the.
Oh, Dom Torrey's in the chat. Hello, Dominic Torrey. How are you, sir? So I guess we'll just jump right into news. We'll slide right into it. Ed is
Ooh, a Molson. He grabbed a Molson.
Ed is having an alcoholic beverage.
Oh, and a major one, too.
Ed's drinking beer.
News o'clock with a drunken Ed. But I'll help you out, so don't worry.
Okay. How'd that first sip taste? German.
It's Canadian.
Canadian.
Oh, shit. Do you not want that now? It's Canadian.
Oh fuck! No,
You
it's
just
fine.
violated rule number 7 of the Ed's code of conduct.
It's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a good beer.
Agent Palmer jumped right on in the chat room. Ed's drinking Canadian beer? All caps. All right, so in the news.
So, yeah.
So there's some rumor milling going around about Nick Fury. And,
making his return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Captain Marvel.
Deadline is reporting Samuel L. Jackson is bringing Nick
you need a
Fury-
fucking cup of coffee instead of a beer.
All right, so anyway. Because he's been absent since Winter Soldier.
That's the last place we saw
That's
him,
the
right?
last time we saw him when he was getting attacked.
Well, no, Age of Ultron, I think.
Was he in Age of Ultron?
Yeah. When he goes out, he's fixing the tractor.
That's true. That's right.
Age of Ultron is after Civil War?
Yes, it is.
I can't keep a track, I guess.
No, he in Winter Soldier he got
It's
attacked.
after
Winter
Winter
Soldier.
Soldier.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just confusing.
Yes, Age
Captain
of
America
Ultron was.
sequels.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you're aware his appearances were.
Fair enough. That's me.
It's
I'm always
well,
lost.
it gets a little confusing.
It can. You know, they blur a little bit, the Winter Soldier and the Civil War sometimes, I guess.
But that's good. That's good news because I miss him.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I'm hopefully he's going to be kind of like front and center in that maybe, and actually be like a key player in it.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to just like cameo or even like in Avengers where it's like I got a few lines, maybe a good scene, a good speech, but I'm not like up in it. I don't drive the story necessarily to a degree. So that's cool. That's cool. Maybe it's going to tie into the fact of her being she comes out of the military armed services, and that's, you know, where...
Well, it's like I said, I think this is one of those like guinea pig Marvel Cinematic Universe films, kind of like Guardians and Ant-Man and Doctor Strange.
Okay.
So I think that maybe they're bringing him in just to secure it a little bit, you know, that people get there and they continue the story.
Right.
Because not too many people are familiar.
Yeah.
I'm talking regular movie goers are not familiar with Captain Marvel.
Right.
You know what I mean,
No,
if they
absolutely.
are, they're
She's
talking
going to need,
about-
she needs a little... Depending, she needs a little friendly, couple of familiar faces around.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there's other familiar faces from the Marvel Cinematic Universe popping in that to help it along.
Yeah, she seems like one of those characters where it's like she has a lot of really cool powers, but like they're never like described. Like,
yeah,
it's just kind
I
of
mean,
like
I'm sure they're described in her books. I just haven't read her books, and you know. It's like she's had a resurgence and a a renaissance as a character in a way where like this current version's got a lot of cool material on her finally.
It was Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Kelly Sue DeConnick has like an iconic run on it, and stuff after her is supposed to be pretty dang good too.
I remember from the 80s Avengers.
Right.
It's a whole different...
Oh, it's a whole different costume.
Yeah,
it's a whole different bit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And they kind of scaled all that back.
Yeah.
You know. And even back then, like that look on her was just like this weird kind of
very early 80s.
It's so like, man, someone got paid for that design.
Yeah.
It's like so basic. It's like just a one suit bikini kind of thing with a Z on it.
Right.
You know, or lightning bolt, like a lazy lightning bolt. I don't even know what the fuck. But anyway, you know. So that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Nick Fury, where is he now? Like, it's a good question. Hopefully, this movie will address that because it's a thing where,
he's probably off somewhere still lamenting the lost eyeball.
Yeah, you know, and I'm just getting used to that.
He's laying low. He's hiding in a farmhouse somewhere, giving Coulson instructions by Morse code.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He is touching base with those guys once in a while, off camera.
Yeah.
That's right.
He has the one last working telegraph in the world.
Well, you know, hey man, fucking, he's probably the only guy who knows how to use one too.
Yeah, when that goes down, he just calls up his friend Professor X.
Right.
And then just get in touch with him for me.
There you go.
So yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Very
cool. Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah, it's great. Will Smith and Ang Lee teaming up for something called Gemini Man.
Science fiction actioner, from what I understand. Over at Paramount and Skydance and Jerry Bruckheimer films.
Oh, a little Jerry Bruckheimer involvement.
So I think it's going to see a release October 4th, 2019.
So the hook on this is that like he's like some kind of expert killer or a government assassin, and then he's finally marked for death himself. But it turns out he's being hunted by a younger clone of himself. Wong 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 wong.
Wait. Isn't that like the plot of like one of the Metal Gear games?
Maybe.
Probably. If those movies, if those games have plot to a certain degree.
No, because it's at one
well,
point.
it's Snake versus Solid. No, I know. I know
Solid
what it is.
Snake and Big Boss are all
like the same
clones
guy.
of the same person.
Yeah,
Big Boss.
Yeah,
So,
it's a left turn.
Yeah,
but
it's a left turn after a left turn.
I think the thing to think about with this is like how much Benjamin Button are we going to be watching? Where it's going to be like a lot of. Is it going to be Will Smith playing the younger version, and we're just kind of CGing, smoothing out his face? Is that what the deal is? Like how much younger?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or are we going to
me.
recast some young kid to kind of play like
I'm gonna guess that they're gonna go with the techie way of doing it because it's the newest thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking that where it's going to be like I get to play two
man,
versions
Johnny
of
Depp
myself.
can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Looper a little bit too.
Well, it's
A
got
little bit, like just
the
like a
whole-
younger version of himself dealing with that.
Sure.
So we've seen that.
Yeah, and I mean this thing's been around for 20 years now, kicking around
as a project,
It's just one
right?
of those, yeah, I said 1997.
Ooh.
But
Tony-
the
Tony Scott directing it. It was a Darren Lemke pitch.
It was just a straight pitch, wasn't like a novel or something like that, I guess.
No.
Okay, cool. All right, because that's kind of, I thought when I read the name, I was like, oh, that sounds like some spy bullshit. And then I was like,
Well,
okay, it's a decent hook. I like the hook.
Well, yeah, David Benoit has scripted it, I believe.
Okay.
He's a guy who
I've seen
created
his name.
the Game of Thrones
Right,
for,
okay, television.
for the television. And,
Right.
So, it could be good. Could be interesting. I mean, Ang Lee is take or leave for me, especially lately. You know what I mean? I haven't really been too much of a fan of his. Like, I love Crouching Tiger.
He's like one of those guys.
It was phenomenal.
It's like one of those guys
Then the Hulk was.
we're waiting for you to wow us again a little bit.
Yeah, the Hulk was a little lukewarm.
That was the problem with
But
it.
I wasn't crazy about Life of Pi. I wasn't crazy about...
I thought Life of Pi was okay. I didn't see the whole thing from beginning to
it
end.
didn't grab me like...
The technical stuff is really great on that.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
that's what Ang Lee does. His movies look incredible.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. And then also in here we got a little bit of interesting news on a Creed movie, the follow-up to the Stallone, spin-off of Rocky Creed, which they're always talking about this sequel that's coming.
Now,
Why?
let's alert the audience that what we're about to say may sound ridiculous, but it actually might be a little cool.
It might be fun.
In the same breath.
Yeah.
So you want to say it, or you want to? I don't want to say it.
It's going to be a gangbang. No,
Yeah,
we're building it up way too
Exactly.
much. It's
Russ
Drake-
Meyer's son came out of the grave to direct the
We
next
got
Creed film.
Creed goes MMA.
There you go. Oh, that's the next generation.
Right, just bite totally off of the Floyd Mayweather thing that's going on right now.
So they're talking about Drago, like bringing Dolph Lundgren in. It's hints at there's a rumoring or a hinting that Ivan Drago will pop up.
Right.
What capacity exactly? He'll probably not be boxing the kid.
No.
I would think he's training some other Russian kid on the come up.
Do you think he goes up against Drago's kid?
Well, that's what me and Jay were talking about before the
Yeah.
show, and I was saying like that's probably like an initial pitch. I would be against it. I would say just to have Drago there is enough. But the kid is that's making it too tied and perfect.
Maybe he's going
know?
to end up being.
A Russian experiment gone horribly
no,
wrong.
maybe he's going to be. It's going to go back to like Rocky 3,
Yeah.
and where Apollo came in and helped him get the Eye of the Tiger. So maybe this is going to be that all over again, but with Drago.
Wow. Could you imagine if Drago
Creed.
turns into the new trainer?
Okay.
Wow. That did not go anywhere where I thought it was going. Bob. I'm going to say that right now.
See, like I could see like Drago's training the opponent or something like
Yeah,
that.
right, that's the easy
That's what I
out.
was
That's
saying.
easy out. That's the easy
I like
out.
Bob's spin better because that makes it like 100 times more
But
interesting.
I don't know. I love Dolph Lundgren, but he is not Carl Weathers.
He's not a good actor.
Maybe he
is what
gets
you're
his
saying.
ass kicked by a Russian fighter.
Sure.
And Drago doesn't like what went down as an old school Russian fighter.
Yeah.
Decides to help out because
Right.
of the connection,
Yeah.
and then goes and helps the kid train.
killed your dad.
I'm going to
right?
break the machine that made me super strong out of dust balls and bring it over. You do this now, okay? Or I will
Yeah.
break you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like that would be a lot of Drago on screen.
He's a piece of iron.
If he's training Creed,
But
that's a
he's-
lot of. That's too much. That's too much Dolph
But you
Lundgren.
gotta, no, but you
Drago.
got to say this about Dolph Lundgren. Since that role,
Yeah.
he's become a lot better actor.
He's better at being what he does. Like he
Yeah.
seems more comfortable.
Right, yeah.
His range is still,
Oh
tiny.
yeah, he's always going to be a little bit tight.
Yeah,
But he's also a pop culture icon that people want to see again.
Yeah.
But it might, on paper, it sounds like it could be ridiculous. But don't forget, Dolph Lundgren is the reason why we have this Creed movie. He's everything to do.
Well, that's the thing. That's what's it's an interesting emotional turn for Creed because, like I was saying,
Right.
I picture Creed seeing a TV where Drago's now training a kid,
Right.
Whether it's his kid or not, training a young come up who's about same weight class, and it's like, and he's like, I want that. Like
Right.
him being just like, it's not even on the table for an option, but he's like, I want that. I want to close that door. I want to shut this guy down.
Right.
Like, and he'll probably take a swing at Dolph Lundgren back in the, in the dressing room or something at some point. Like, there'll be some scuffle, or some weigh in where it gets all out of control, much like real life.
But if they do it right, this could be deep, emotionally for the Adonis Creed character,
yeah.
getting some closure on the
Yeah.
man that killed his father.
Yeah, that's definitely what the whole
If
hook
they-
on this is going to be.
If they do it right, this will be good, and I'm interested in this.
But I'm putting in my secret vote for Bob's pitch. Though.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because that's the thing like that they'll probably never do, and would have just as much of an interesting thing going
I
on.
actually think that would be the thing that makes the most sense.
Well, I mean,
know what I
it's
mean?
by far, it's definitely a more interesting.
If you want to
twist.
play with it, you know what I mean? That'd be interesting.
You just go into them and you're giving them the Apollo Creed pitch from 3,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and you just say it's Drago, and then you figure everything else later.
Right. Exactly.
but then you can have a lot of
And then,
drama.
like, you know what? That movie did great. I like that idea. You figure it out, bring it back.
You know. And then it
And
turns
that's
out.
it. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's how it gets. That's how it gets done.
Absolutely.
Or
And
what if Creed goes to pick up his girl and he opens the door, and it's Drago's the dad.
or he's banging his girlfriend.
Oh, I will break her.
Take off your blouse.
I will
I
break
like Bill's Spider-Man Homecoming.
All right. So
You must be Donnie.
you must be Donnie. Donnie, you look very
With the
uncomfortable.
gun at the headrest, though, that you really can't see. It's just
Creed. Where do I know this name, Creed? I've heard this before, I think. All right, so Ed, let's take a cold swig, and then let's jump into the chat game review, I guess, and see what a couple of these people came up with.
There are a couple of bright guys.
Yeah, these kids are sharp. And
The chat game was lesser known insect heroes and villains.
okay,
I like my martial artist. Praying
And-
Mantis.
the praying mantis.
We've got Mantis of La Mancha,
There you go.
Okay.
Beetle Bailey,
Oh, that's good.
Mothman,
Basic, very basic, very simple. Okay, we're warming up.
Money Thirsty Mansquito,
I what? Okay,
the Gnat,
the gnat. There you go.
Avoid the Arachnoid,
All right.
the Human Centipede,
That's a classic. That one's already. All that one's missing is a cape.
Butterfly by Night,
Gentle.
Gentle Bug,
Gentle bug. There you go.
the Caterpillar Kid, Black Lighting Bug,
That's funny.
the Butterfly Guy,
Butterfly guy.
Firefly.
Assassin Bugbara,
All right.
the Bug Bomb,
The bug bomb.
Moth the Flame Man,
Moth to the flame.
TIE Fighting Tadpoles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Bees,
Ew.
the Silverfish,
That's no good. They eat comics.
Wrecking Ball Roach, and Dung Beetle.
Dung Beetle gets a bell for
Wrecking
me.
Ball Roach.
I want to see a man-sized guy in a dung beetle suit. Like, he has to fight, but he can't stop the uncontrollable urge to roll a giant ball of dung across the battlefield. Like, in between it. Just let me finish this, and we'll get right back to fighting.
And it just sounds like an excuse to throw a poo like a monkey.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he's doing. Like, once he rolls up these dung balls, he's whipping them at people. Yeah, that was good stuff.
I pity the fool.
And the gnat sounded like almost want to steal that. That sounds like a great like Spider-Man parody kind of comic or
like the Tick.
Yeah, right, exactly what I was thinking. Like the Tick, that kind of a thing. Where those it should be like a character on the Tick. Probably is like, because they're all parody-ish characters.
Fungus Man or something.
Right,
Sounds like something like that.
So with that, I don't know. We don't got a lot in the meanwhile, but
I got a couple things, but
it's a section
do you
we
have anything
do.
Ed?
What?
In the meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
you have anything to add for the meanwhile?
Yes, I do.
You got stuff? Good.
Yeah, I
Good,
do have stuff.
Good.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, go
I'm
Yeah.
gonna join you in a beer.
Ooh, would you grab one for me?
We're gonna drink Canadian or what?
Yeah, let's go Canadian in celebration of Ed's troubles today.
This one's for Chad.
What's your work,
This one's for Ed's dog.
Bob?
It's not my dog.
Yeah, I'll take one.
So, what do you got this week in the old meanwhile?
Two things to talk about. Maybe things, maybe a little redundant, but I binged season 4 of Silicon Valley this week,
Okay.
which just finished, and it's great.
Salute.
It's great.
Caught all up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm behind on the newest season. Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly, just the newest season.
Yeah. But interesting stuff going on. Zach Woods as Jared.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We finally did something with him.
That's
like
nice.
Oh no, he's like unstoppable this season.
Oh, good.
Like if you remember in the previous season, they established that while all of this is going on, he's crushing tons of tail. Like
This guy fucks.
Yes.
Yes, right, right,
This guy fucks. And
This guy fucks turns out to be true.
And they don't throw it in your face, but it's the kind of thing when you least expect it. Someone will walk in the room and there are two girls giggling in the background, and you're like, "Oh shit, that's right. This guy fucks."
The least expected guy to get tail. That's great little
and,
twist.
you know, some these little tiny little lines where someone will take about, oh, what we're doing is it's not malware, it's more like forced adoption. And it just goes, as a product of forced adoption, I can tell you that rarely works out. It's just
It's some of the best dry stuff like I've seen in a long time. Sometimes. All right, cool. So you caught up with that.
Yeah, and one of the things this morning's episode, Saturday morning's episode of Justice League Action.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like the McLaughlin Group.
No.
I'm like, what the fuck is on Saturday?
This sounds like something for the DC report, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think we're going to push this.
I'll just. It's a cartoon, so I don't usually cover it. Although there is a cartoon for the retro pick this week.
Ooh. Let's see if Bill can actually install this behind the scenes as the show goes on. Speaking of.
Really?
Yeah,
Meanwhile.
I forgot.
I sent that to you Wednesday.
I know. It was too early. It threw me off. I told you, I made the graphic the same day, but just didn't put it in the machine.
So anyway, Justice League Action. This was a Booster Gold episode.
Oh, we like the Booster Gold.
Yeah. They're in the middle of a fight, and he and Batman get trapped in a time bubble. And it's this great Justice League Action are these little 10-minute stories because they're 15 minutes blocks. I don't know why Cartoon Network does these weird 15-minute shows.
Yeah.
But,
it works for them though.
Yeah, but it's a straight you get 11 minutes and no commercials. So it's
because they get more listings per hour.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is too. You know, when you think about it.
It's like how some channels go at 10:05
Well,
instead of 10 o'clock.
There's that for TBS was known for doing that. That's definitely what their angle was. But you probably got a good idea because they'll squeeze in now 4 shows.
Yeah.
In an hour.
In an hour. And so when people go to look through their guide, they're there 4 times.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So at a subconscious level, I'm sure it helps out a little bit.
Yeah, it catches your eye. It's like, what's this? What's going on here?
But Booster Gold's one of my favorite characters. If you can hunt it down, there's a little short film I wrote about him.
What?
Yeah, a little short fan film. I'm not going to tell you how to find it.
Good luck.
Figure it on your own.
You know enough to try and track that down, probably.
Yes.
Okay. That's your challenge this week.
I don't think it's on the internet anymore.
We don't give out enough homework to the listeners.
No.
But that's what their homework assignment is this week.
Yeah.
Find that and bring that to my attention. I'm not going to look for it. One of you guys listening.
No, but it's a great character, and the whole idea behind him is he's this doofus from the 25th century who's into superheroics for the fame and the endorsement deals.
Right, because at that stage, at that time, that's what's kind of going on with it all.
Yeah.
So when he comes to modern day, oh wait, there's none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
the whole thing is he disgraced himself in the future,
right?
And then figures, well, no one knows I'm a screw up here,
right?
So let me just go up and I'll just hang with Superman and Batman all day.
Yeah. I mean, he gets the benefit. Yeah. I mean, it works out to that. You know what I mean? But he does think, or at least an iteration I think I've seen is like when he comes, he thinks that that's how the world.
Yeah, that's how the 20th century works.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a sneaker deal and all this kind of stuff, and like no, doesn't really kind of work.
No.
Or he has a hard time trying to make it happen.
You're a third stringer on the Justice League.
Ooh.
And
good looking.
Yeah, but this is a fun adventure with mostly him and Batman and some Wonder Woman. And I think really inhibits of this is a guy who could be a really great hero, but somehow no one ever really gives him the recognition he deserves. It's a great show, but just check out that episode, and I think you'll like it.
Cash. And then Jay's got something.
I do. Well, this week was slow for me in movie watching because I've been revisiting Daredevil season 1.
Nice.
I binged that again because I wanted a refresher because I had not seen Daredevil season 2.
Right.
So now I'm 4 episodes into that, which
into season
still 2. Amazing show.
Mm-hmm. Season 2 gets so good.
But I too watched a cartoon this weekend.
Ooh, you did?
What was that?
What kind of cartoon?
It was a film called Rock Dog. Rock Dog.
It's about a dog who rocks?
Yes, it is. And actually, Bob, you actually may get a kick out of this.
Okay.
Because it's done by an independent animation studio. It's not as gifted as many Pixar or Disney films, or not even DreamWorks or Blue Sky or anything like that. You know what I mean? This is
independent. A little more old school.
It's a CGI movie. It's just it didn't have the budget and whatnot.
Right.
But there's some pretty impressive people doing voices on it. namely Luke Wilson, Lewis Black, Eddie Izzard,
Sure.
J.K. Simmons, I think Sam Elliott.
This had a theatrical release?
Yes, it did, yeah.
I think all those guys play the same guy in different movies, but go on.
This is like 10 years ago, right?
No, it was a couple months ago.
Oh, really? It was only out a couple months ago?
It failed. It flopped, but it's a charming little flick, and the reason why I enjoyed it is because it's all about this dog that lives up in the snow mountains. He plays guitar. His family doesn't want him to, play the guitar. He wants him to watch for these wolves that attack the town.
Sounds like my life story growing
Exactly. So one guy tells him to go and find your dreams, follow your dreams to become a rock star. And then he runs into this cat who is basically channeling Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
He's like already been made. Oh, yeah. Exactly, and it's Eddie Izzard that does the voice.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
And it's hilarious. It's actually hilarious. So it's a cute little film. It's nothing spectacular, but if you're a rock and roll fan and like to hear that music again and hear the best Ozzy interpretation in the form of a skinny cat yelling at people, it's great. So it was
Nice.
It was good for me. I give it 3.5 American tacos, simply because I found it charming enough and ballsy enough to actually talk about music like that in this day and age.
Right. Cool.
So
Nice.
it's a fun little film, and I liked it a lot better than some of the major films that have been coming out that were animated. Don't expect like spectacular. It's all formula.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
fun.
Cool. So
Twin Peaks episode 8.
I mean, we could get that into that a little bit here. We talked about it last night after we recorded the Spider-Man
Twin
thing.
Peaks requires more drinking first.
It's not going to help.
But the thing is that
More
I'm
drugs.
feeling that this conversation between Bill and I could just blow people's fucking minds on that episode alone.
Well, what they need to know is that the episode alone could fucking just kind of blow minds, but not like. I don't know. I wonder how that lands for people. The episode gets so fucking esoteric and art like minded that it loses.
I'll be honest with you. I
train.
did not see this episode.
Right.
But hearing you guys describe it,
Yeah. Last night we went deep.
it
on
sounds like the
describing
kind of thing that would infuriate me.
Yeah.
Because I do not respond well unless there's a direct narrative.
I have an update for you though.
Fair enough.
They did an interview with Kyle MacLachlan.
I did see it and kind of skipped over it.
He actually stated, and I quote,
Right.
"It will be clear."
Okay.
So,
All right, because don't get me wrong, because
By
that's
the
what it
end.
does. It does feel like it's working towards being one of those things where it's like we're gonna get you all crazy and twisted around, and then in the last 2 episodes, boom, it'll all kind of come together.
But, like,
but
was
it's so crazy on a different level of crazy. It's not like Westworld where it's like, okay, they're gonna get to that. They're gonna lay it all out for us. This is like, there's no way you could. This feels like there's no way you could make heads or tails of it all.
So they're basically giving you all the information in such a haphazard and insane fashion that it doesn't make sense at any point in time while you're watching episode to episode.
There are large
and between several episodes.
There are large chunks of things that just stand out as like where are you going to find the time to explain that and all the other a little bit more straightforward classical kind of storyline stuff that's played mystery wise.
Right.
Because that's the big thing about the show is like everything that's going on, like as far as like the more normal storylines are still played very cat and mouse, tease bait, where characters are trying to figure out what's going on type of thing, where it's like, well, there's like 3 fucking storylines.
right.
And then there's like the 4th, I guess, which is like the overall, and it's like, whoa, man, But the episode 8, like, if you want to watch something that's gonna make your head fucking kind of scratch, you want to see something that's very different and artistic in a way,
Absolutely.
and playing with format and all this kinds of shit, that will probably be a way to come into a show in the middle. Like sometimes it happens. Like you'll be flipping the channels, you'll just end up on a show you don't watch. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Ooh, what is this about?
Yeah, exactly.
This has got me.
Exactly.
This is an episode that will probably could do that for you, or it'll push you away from it forever.
Right. But you can't stop looking at it. It's just something
I find
about
it. I agree. It's highly compelling.
Yeah. It's really something. And like I said, I mentioned this. The only way I can describe it is that you were watching a film noir. Then it turns into a Nine Inch Nails concert. Then it turns into like the tribute. The traveling through the gateway into 2001.
Oh, okay.
Then into like an EC Comics horror film.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? But it's compelling, and it's artfully done, and it may piss people off. It's an acquired taste.
I just feel like he's on acid now when he writes, and
now he's on acid.
Yeah. You should just probably be something like a little more tame, like you should like just huff paint or huff rush.
Well, that's all that TV would take back in the 80s. Though.
Right. Because you had to be functional still.
Like
cocaine will burn you out.
Like he was sniffing glue?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the 2000s, we had, what's his name in NYPD Blue being a heroin addict, the main writer over there. It was a big...
Stephen Bochco?
Bochco? Maybe not NYPD Blue.
No, because I used to see what's his name, the fat guy, always talking about how wonderful his writing was and how he would come in high as a kite and not have anything done, and they'd be ready to record, and he'd be like, "Okay, Zipwitz, you're going to be doing this," and it was awesome. It was perfect.
David Milch.
David Milch had a drug problem during those days, maybe? I don't know. I just don't remember who was on behind the scenes on that.
Those are the co-creators, Stephen Bochco and David Milch.
Yeah.
But you know what, Ed? You might not get aggravated at it because it's not like Lost Highway where it's just a bunch of shit. What you're seeing is compelling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lost Highway from top to bottom was trying to be like a dream or something.
Right.
There are elements of this that kind of play with that again.
Elements, but not.
But they're more about like, you know, playing with time and format and stuff like that, and then long holds on beats and things like that, as opposed to like trying to like make you feel like you're in a dream.
Right.
Which I think is Lost Highway is trying to do at certain times.
Yeah.
But when he's in this other world in Twin Peaks, that's working on a dreamscapey kind of plateau. Like the rules of it, when you're there, at least I think, are working like that. You know, you go through a curtain, you end up in another room. It's very old Scooby-Doo with the doors and shit, like kind of things like that. You know, hallways and, you know, or things jump a little bit.
No episode
But
is alike.
But the episode's ending, the way the episode's end drives me crazy every time. It drives me crazy every time. The random credits just start rolling. Like, what? Now's the... Oh, okay, it's over. All right. Okay. You know, I mean, it's just...
It ends in a song a lot of times.
Usually, and they threw it for a loop because it seemed like every episode was starting to end at the bar with a random band that he must like, and that gave them a spotlight. And then, like you were saying, this week, Nine Inch Nails pops up like in the middle of the episode.
Right.
So I'm so trained, I thought it was the end of the episode. Because, you know, so much weird shit's going on that, like, time expands for you. Like, you know, when you watch something really good and you're like, oh, okay, this feels like it's going to end any minute. And then you look at the clock and it's like, oh, we're only 25 minutes into something.
Yeah.
Like
he
that.
obviously is not the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that kind of thing. So it's like, you know, when they pop up, I was like, okay, this is the end of the episode. But they had kind of switched out from doing that, I think, you know, as a basic kind of way to kind of like, oh, I'm doing it. He probably realized he was doing that a lot.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm ending on because he wants to keep you, that's the thing too. He wants you to not feel
right
like you know what's going on.
Like how we're feeling, he wants this.
Yeah, this is all planned. As mental as he is, it's working. The other thing I'll mention is that, real quick, obviously you've heard us talk about it before, but Oates, on the YouTube channel for Oates Studios, they got another one coming soon, Zygote. There's a preview of it, but that's real brief. But what to check out is Cooking with Bill. So it's like these infomercials that go wrong kind of a thing. Real creepy. You know, hey, they're not all hysterical. They don't all. They're really fun to kind of watch.
Do people lose limbs?
The guy who plays the Bill, like the infomercial guy, is fucking perfect. Like his delivery and everything is just so fucking crispy and perfect. But go check that out if you're looking for a place to go burn some time. The
channel's a little Billy Mays, a little ShamWow guy.
Well, I mean, it's not those two particular guys, but he's so in the wheelhouse of every other like faceless guy who never, like you don't know their names, like those guys who are kind of like, you know, just you see him once, but it's like wow, that guy's got the perfect voice and the perfect delivery, Karen. You know, like that. And it's like, all right.
Like that homeless guy you used to see on YouTube and now does the macaroni and cheese commercials.
That guy, yeah, basically. You know, it's like one of those. And he's got this mustache that's straight out of 1980s porn, gay porn. Like, it's crazy. A lot of fun, though. A lot of fun.
You said porn, and I don't have my wah-wah pedal.
Sorry, man. We should have planned that out. There you go.
Everybody seen Bill?
Billy! Drink orange juice, Billy! Oh, I'm opening up the chat, the private staff chat. And I see Ed fucking dropping, Agent Palmer rather, dropping F-bombs and all kinds of shit going on.
Was he imitating me?
I don't even know.
No, he's upset that I brought up something that doesn't exist anymore.
Your love
He's
of dogs?
upset at it?
Yes.
Oh.
Why is he upset about that?
Because I guess he wanted to see the video.
Well, life moves on.
Oh.
Yes. And you're right, that Bill is perfectly cast.
Oh, you took a look at him real
Yeah.
quick? Yeah. He's just got this.
Oh, gee, like
You want to hear him, don't
like that's been outlawed in like 12 states for the last 2 decades. That mustache.
you? Yeah. It's serious. It's a very serious mustache. So what do we got going on here? What time is it? How far are we in?
50 minutes.
That's it?
Well, 46, 42.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
That's right. Email usually takes forever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
No, it was a late news week.
Oh yeah, what are you apologizing for?
I'm sorry.
You're just feeling shitty because you're late.
So
you're just apologizing in general?
Yeah.
Fair enough. How's the dog doing? Did you check on the dog since you got here?
Yeah, go check it.
Don't look.
Go check on the dog.
Don't
Ed.
look. Don't look like that.
We'll wait for you.
What's the dog's name, by the way?
Cody.
Cody.
It was going to be Dakota.
I hate it now too. Just so you know.
It was going to be Dakota until they discovered the penis.
Yeah, that changes things, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did someone rub his belly too much?
It's a dog. You could still call him Dakota.
Yeah, Dakota's a guy's name. Did you see John Wayne movie, Dakota?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, well, that was his last name, wasn't it?
But it's still,
Yeah.
Dakota.
Yeah, just make him a cowboy. Put a cowboy hat on him. Call him Dakota.
Cody. That was Frank Gifford and Kathy Lee's son. That's what they
Oh,
named
my
him.
Cody.
Yeah, remember that?
He's got a tooth now. Like, shut the fuck up, lady. If you mention your kids, Regis is over there snapping.
Well, you shut up.
The scary
I'm just
thing
screaming
is now,
inside my skull.
Yeah.
the scariest thing about that now is she's got another morning show.
Oh, they
It's
let her drink.
And
Yeah.
and she's had so much plastic surgery since then.
Oh, it's not. Yeah.
So she is scary looking to look at. Doesn't look like anything like Kathy Lee used to
Yeah.
look. And
She looks
and
like
she's
a lizard person.
And then you hear her go, "Oh, and now Cody, he just went to prom."
Right.
It's like, wait,
Yeah.
no.
What's the
that's
math on that?
Your
right.
face doesn't fit.
Yeah.
you know?
You could tell her co-host hates her.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
great. That's the great.
Everybody hates her.
Dakota.
Yeah, when Saturday Night Live was doing that for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah,
That
Frank
was the great
Gifford
thing.
hated her. He just didn't divorce her
Yeah.
because he wanted to keep
No,
his
he
money.
died instead.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a lot older than her. I'll just die.
I like that show.
What?
Regis and Kathy Lee.
I liked it when Regis was on it
Yeah.
because Regis felt like someone was in control over there.
Regis reminds me a lot of my grandpa. I don't know why. He just has like the same kind of face, the same kind of personality.
I got it. It's that era.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know what I did this week, but I feel great.
Well, you know what he does on the side to stay alive is he's like snorts stem cells.
Shit. All right. First email. Guess what? Dom Torrey sent an email.
Hey.
Howdy, pilgrims. Oh, wait. That's the wrong show. Never mind. Hey. I know Billiam gets his Captain America underoos in a bunch when emails run long, so I'll try to get straight to it. My dad recently started binge watching The Office on Netflix. And in our conversations about the show itself, a question about cult classic shows like The Office and Friends came up. The debate revolved around how much money do the original studios that produced the show, as well as creators and actors of the series, actually see once they hit the streaming services like Hulu or Netflix. If so, what's the process? My dad seems to think that Netflix is like Wall Street in the 80s, with actors and creators getting rich off shows that haven't been on TV in decades. But I think it's probably somewhere in the middle, with the streaming services seeing the most revenue, while the actors and studio creators make a decent buck. Wish I could be there with you guys, but if I wasn't delivering burritos every Saturday, I would just, I wouldn't be much of a pothead, would I? Did I go along? Bye.
Yeah.
Dom Torrey. Thank you, Tom.
Actually, I remember when I was a kid that this became an issue when Ronald Reagan was president.
Right.
Because Ronald Reagan had been an actor.
Right.
It was thought he was going to really fall on the actor's side of
Right.
this whole residuals
Sure.
thing, right?
Yeah, right.
Because syndication was fairly new.
Sure.
A fairly new
Right,
idea.
right.
So what they came up with
Right.
was a diminishing thing over time
Mm-hmm.
for the actors. I think like by the third or fourth time there's a deal made in syndication, the actor's getting pennies, if anything.
Yeah, and what's funny is actually that this week.
So I think it depends as far as where in that cycle these things fall when they go to Netflix.
Well, here's the lost the internet connection. I don't know what the fuck is going on. All right.
let's take a
Well,
look.
it's just the people in the chat room.
I'm still connected.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm on a hard line. You guys, I should be solid all
Yeah.
the time.
I have Wi-Fi on my phone.
Reconnecting. All right. Either way, it's recording. Yeah. So actually, what happened is that in the '90s they had the whole strike. In the turn of the when all the not the '90s but early 2000s they actually had the Writers Guild strike,
Right.
which was the first one to kind of take issue with all the online availability now of media. So this
Right.
initial stuff came up, and what's funny is that I'm going to jump to it, but Palmer had sent me a link. It was funny that Dom had asked about this, and this I meant to put this into the notes. That this week it's going to come to pass that I think this is the link, right? Hold on. Nope, that's not it. That something something's going to come out through where like now they got to start paying the actors and everybody more now. That it's gonna end up affecting budgets a little bit. Let's see.
So we mean
Fan
starting with
fiction.
new shows?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to pull up the article. No, I think it's just that the subsequent with the unions contract.
Yeah, they just avoided a writer's strike.
Yeah, Amazon and Netflix are going to have to pay actors on their streaming shows more money. Actors in original content on shows like Hulu, Amazon, and Netflix will see an increase in their residual rates. That is compensation for subsequent play of an episode that they are in, and will be paid those residual payments within 90 days instead of a year, which is how that's the issue too, is that they used to be able to wait a year. Now they want the turnover right away. Actors will also get residuals for foreign use for the first time. The agreement has reached with SAG-AFTRA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. The new agreement means it will cost streaming services providers more money to create original content, but the higher pay could make it easier to attract big-name talent for streaming shows, because if they're going to bother to pay out, if they're going to be forced to pay out
Right.
more, it's going to behoove them to
Right.
get more for their money.
Why is a name like Arnold Schwarzenegger going to go and do a thing on Netflix when he can go and get a payday in a movie where he can get a nice cut of
Right.
a nice percentage?
Right, exactly. For a guy like them, it's probably the deal is the deal. You know what I mean? Because they don't have to worry about scale, like working for union base
Right.
rates. I think that the thing is, as much as this article is like, hey, you might be able to easier attract bigger name talent, I think that means not so much monsters of talent, but that base level.
Instead of looking for people in New Zealand who speak
Yeah.
English who can act, now they can look in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that too, sure.
Yeah.
Anything? Nothing? Okay, no, fine. All right.
Yeah, but basically the way residuals have always worked is you get paid up front for the initial release.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, each time that it's shown, you
Right.
get less and less and less.
Yeah.
To the point where like some people who made stuff in the '60s that's still getting rerun,
Right.
they get a check for like $12 every year.
Right. Mailbox money.
Yeah.
As the guy from House of Pain was calling it. I saw him on a podcast. He was like, "Hey, those mailbox checks, those are important." It might just be, you know what? It might just be this damn doodad I'm using to stay connected to the internet.
Yeah, it's at least a pack of cigarettes, $12.
Cash. All right, hold on a second. I think I'm having another
Do we have
issue.
Wi-Fi?
See, I was trying to avoid the Wi-Fi because you guys use it all. So I kind of was always thinking that, like, I should just use. My bandwidth is low. All right, let me jump to the Wi-Fi. Da, 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 da. Cash. Bum, da, 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 da. Yeah, bandwidth is low for Mixler.
Milk-fed blues.
So I hope that's not ruining your experience out there in the chat room, kids. The point being that I was going to say something, and now I don't remember what it was.
We were talking about residuals.
Oh, I love those. I wish I got some of those.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, man.
You know, it's funny. A friend of mine, actually 2 friends of mine, were in Lean On Me. You know that film?
Yeah.
They actually went to East Side High in Patterson, and they actually get checks for like 6 cents every time the film comes on.
It just boggles my mind.
Whenever it comes on cable, or if somebody buys the Blu-ray.
It must suck to have to write checks for that little money because it costs more to write the check
and send it out.
You know,
Pay somebody to fucking.
But by law, whatever they sign,
they got to.
They have to.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean? 12 cents, $1.04, shit like that. Yeah.
You would think that at the very least, like, there would be some kind of, like, the union would be like, okay, send them an itemized, let it get to, like, $3 before, like, do everybody a favor. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you obviously have some kind of crazy system that's tracking every single appearance by every single person ever anyway. Right. Which seems like an incredible amount of work. We could maybe bring it up to date a little bit, like, something. All right, so let's jump over to the next email. We got one here from Steph Muniz.
Stephanie.
Sammy. You know her from the Gotham Lights podcast.
I know her because she's in Arizona's.
That's true, too.
Iced tea.
It's hot.
But guess what? She's not there right now. She says, hey, yous guys, I'm in Vegas for a quick trip to see friends that live there and a couple of friends in town visiting from Calgary.
Yeah, oh, please. She's never in Arizona lately.
Just to do the podcast.
So my question for you this week is Sin City related. If you could go to Vegas, or if you have been, what's the most appealing thing? Is it the sights, the gambling, the people watching, or the shows? That's it for me. We're grabbing some grub for brunch and then heading back to Phoenix. Take care, fellas. Your pal, Steph.
I was in Vegas once.
Yeah.
Chaperoning high school students.
Oh, that's got to be fun.
And I was 20 years old.
Oh, you were like the adult in the room?
Yeah.
Woof.
But it must have been great for the older adults because you couldn't go gamble.
No.
They could.
They could. It'd be like, Ed's in charge. Bye, guys. He's the oldest one in the room.
Yes, and
Ed's like, go to bed. Everybody go to bed. But it's like 7:30. Go to bed.
Empty your pockets, give me your weed and your alcohol, and go to sleep.
No, these were good kids. They knew to hide it.
Yeah, it was probably very boring. What was this, debate competition?
Yes, it was the national speech tournament.
Ooh.
So I was there for a whole week.
Nice.
And we did see the sights.
Okay.
My favorite thing, which I ended up going to alone, which isn't there anymore, so I'm glad I got to see it once, was the Star Trek experience.
Oh, okay.
Which was at the I believe it was the Vegas Marriott.
And you went through it? You went on it?
Yes, I went on it. There were two. There's one that's like a next gen thing, another thing that's like a Borg thing. And,
okay.
And it's like there's a moment where like you are literally peek in and you're standing on the bridge, the Enterprise D, and it's like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome.
Doing boner.
Yeah, and I
did you go and say engage? You did, right?
Didn't have time.
Didn't have time.
There was a mission. We had to move on.
That's the whole angle, right? Too. It's like they put you in the story, right?
You're literally there for about 10 seconds, and it's like, oh my god, it's the bridge, and then they're like, move. They gotta get you to the real ride into the seat.
I got you. This is all like as you're leading up to sitting down.
It's kind of like what the Back to the Future ride was, or one of those things where like you're in a chair and it's moving.
Sure. You watch the screen.
Yeah.
And so how was that aspect of it all?
The
whole
great.
motion chair and the little video.
Yeah.
And what was it? It was Next Generation?
It was Next Generation.
So Picard talked to you and shit?
Yes.
Did he call you like, what were you, like an ensign? Were you all ensigns? Is that what it was? It was like your first day?
Yeah, no. We were people.
Welcome aboard the Enterprise.
Asked to help the Klingons, help stop the Klingons.
Shine my head.
From killing one of Captain Jean-Luc Picard's ancestors, who was evidently one of us in the room.
Is that continuity?
Oh.
Is that in continuity?
Yes, it was the guy whose family made wine.
If you weren't the captain, I'd kill you where you stand.
There you go.
I've been to Vegas.
Yeah?
Yep.
I'm not surprised. How much did you get locked up?
I'm not talking any more further than that.
There you go. Because it stays. It does stay in Vegas.
Yeah,
Turns out
I've been there.
everything-
People know I've been there. That's all I'm saying.
most things stay in Vegas, but usually not the STDs.
But I do like the casino.
Oh, no way. Not you.
And I actually do,
You're
gamble a little bit.
You're a stereotype.
I do play I do play Texas Hold'em.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I play blackjack.
I play some Texas. I play
do.
some Texas.
I sit down.
Yeah.
I throw my blazer on.
Oh. You're one of them.
I get pissed off real quick. And
Sunglasses and a big hat?
No, I'll
okay.
let them see. I'll let them see.
I'll tell you my tells. All right? How about that?
I won't tell you any more than that.
All right.
No, I've been there a couple times. Actually, one time, I'll tell you, I went to the NAB convention, the National Association of Broadcasters.
Oh, those boy lovers.
No, because I'm a video technician, so you go there to see all the latest technology and everything, stuff
sure.
like that. So I did that. And I did some other things. So that's good.
Okay.
Now, what you're thinking about, Bill, was NAMBLA.
That's right. I get it mixed up.
North American Man Boy Love Association.
Yeah, never been.
No, evidently they are allowed to meet in Canada. They have meetings in Canada.
I meant Vegas. I was shifting gears from the NAMBLA thing.
Well, if you guys ever decide to go, I'll go with you.
I was just
I'll go with you.
To which thing now? Because now we're blowing the line.
Vegas.
Vegas. Okay, very good. Vegas. If the NAMBLA meeting is in Vegas, is that where you're going to go?
Vegas was a good show with Robert Urich years ago.
It was all right.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right.
It was another show with James Caan a while back.
But Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, right.
And then there was another show with Dennis Quaid that was not very good.
Okay, fair enough.
Vegas with Robert Urich, the S was a dollar sign.
Yeah, gambling's not for me, so probably I'd go there. To go to those big casinos, though, is probably like a sight in itself, though.
You would probably laugh at me gambling.
Yeah, for a little while, and I'd be like, I gotta go. I can't watch this. This guy's gonna have a meltdown or snap a neck, either direction, any minute.
I don't have meltdowns. No.
You just haven't had it yet, and I'm not gonna be there for the first one. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that never happened.
No. I'm not saying that man don't cry, but I'm not at the casino. Upstairs in the room.
You know what though? I have seen people crying
sure.
on the side and shit like that. Because people bet their paychecks and shit.
When you have when you come to gamble a dream, like when you come in with that money and that's like a hope for something, I'm gonna flip this, I'm gonna double it, even if that's your thing, you're gonna walk out dejected if you lose that.
No.
You know what I mean? You can't go in there like that. I mean, you gotta be in there. You gotta walk in there being like, this money's already gone.
Right.
You know, the only way to come out happy is if
you got $1,000 in your pocket,
know what I mean?
Don't spend 700. Don't bet 700. You know what I mean?
not
off the
right
bat.
away. No.
Go small. Let it work it a little bit. Go to one of the mix the tables.
Yeah, lose it slowly.
Yes. You can win. I mean, you can. You just got to learn to walk the fuck away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Like if I had $1,000 and I won like $500, that's it. I'm going. $500, that's it.
I'm up. I'm leaving.
That's my plane fare.
Yeah.
I came here for free.
Right.
I think the last.
And now that you won, they're gonna give you free shit. To keep
Right,
you there.
exactly.
So
It's funny that you say it like that. The last time I was there with an ex-girlfriend, and we didn't go there with a lot. It was a time kill. It was like, let's just go down there.
Atlantic City or Vegas?
Atlantic City.
Oh, Atlantic City.
I just meant gambling in general. So we're on the way out, and it was like we were kind of like thinking about maybe we should bail now. And she threw in the last $5 in a coin slot by the escalator and hit for 500. And it was like, we are out of this place.
Stop.
Yes.
Cash out.
Yes. I don't know if I don't think that put us up. You know what I mean? But because between the two of us, you know what I mean? But we were like, yeah. That's not hooking us back in. You know what I mean? I think the ones where the escalator are set to kind of have a higher, often payout because it's in a high visual area, coming or going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's how they get you.
You got to learn when to quit. That's just it.
That's
you
it.
know what I mean?
You just got to know what those signs are.
Because you get a fever. You get that demonic face on.
Because unless you are like a card person.
Well, I am, but
I mean, like a type like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're like average Joe, just going to flip some money around and play, like that place is designed to suck you dry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only guys who are gonna have a chance of coming out of that are guys who are like, not playing slots. For sure. But yeah, I mean, I'd go check it out. Some of those shows actually that are out in those places like Vegas are actually pretty cool. I mean, I'm not going to see Celine, but I'd go to see like Penn and Teller or one of these acts that actually has like an edge or something like that.
Yeah.
Celine? Yeah. No, she's Canadian.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Selena.
Oh, yeah. She's deaf. Yeah, she's deaf.
Fucking bitty bitty bomb bombs.
Whoa, take it easy there, Chief. All right, we got one more email in here. It's from our pal Wesley.
Wesley. Play it.
Oh, Wesley. Hey, you gentlemen, and Lord Bob. Also, fuck you, Jay. All right, that's how it starts.
Fuck you too.
Hey, what do you think are some of the best soundtracks for movies? He's got a few questions in here. We'll take them one by one. What do you think of some of the best soundtracks for movies? I was playing Jackie Brown last night after Spider-Man.
Yes, you were.
And that's like one of my favorites because it's just some nice Motown, not deep cuts, but like stuff you just don't really hear usually in soundtracks.
Yeah.
But that's any of the Quentin Tarantino stuff for the most part.
Soundtracks, it's funny because it's like is it the score or is it the actual, like a song soundtrack?
I'm going to say it's like a song soundtrack. I think for most people that's kind of like...
Well, yeah, when they think of soundtrack, they're going to think of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
my first thing that came to my mind, though, was not one of those. I was going to say the Star Wars soundtrack.
Yeah, that's the score.
You know,
but that's the score.
That's the score.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the soundtrack.
It's interchangeable in a way, but that's a great score. Like, you know what I mean? That's a score that you can actually sit there and listen to.
But that's something that people have bought on LP and had in their house. You know what I mean?
I'm probably going to make Agent Palmer smile right now. But one of them is the soundtrack to Heavy Metal.
Sure.
Which
that's a good one.
Which was fantastic. That Nazareth and
Montrose.
Lots of
Journey was on it. Well, Sammy Hagar, Black Sabbath, that kind of stuff. Another would be Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Has a really awesome soundtrack to that.
Okay.
Hagar, Jackson Brown, Go-Go's I think are on that too.
Sure. Why not?
The Guardians movies have good
Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good.
Martin Scorsese's Casino soundtrack
Okay.
is a double album filled with amazing music.
Well, you want to go with those? Goodfellas is pretty good too.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think
too.
Casino even has a lot more deeper cuts, if I remember correctly.
Well,
where it's like, it's a couple of, it's a 60s Motown song, it's a 70s rock song, and then all of a sudden it's a 1930s fucking Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale's good
Bronx
too.
Tale's got a couple of good ones in there.
One of the big where the soundtrack is more popular than the film kind of was
Saturday Night Live.
Staying Alive.
Saturday Night Fever was a big film. You know what I mean? It was a big soundtrack. But I'm talking one of the influential soundtracks was remember Judgment Night?
Yeah, Judgment Night, where it was like, hip hop acts and rock acts got together and did
heavy metal acts.
Heavy metal acts,
like it was Slayer and Ice-T and
it was,
was Anthrax, Public Enemy had that one?
Something like that, but a whole album with that.
Took that concept and made the whole soundtrack for the movie from it.
That was an innovative soundtrack.
And it had a lot of cool stuff on it. You know what's funny is I forget what the track is. I'd have to look it up. But like
Forrest Gump has a good one too.
Spawn, the soundtrack from Spawn tried to do that same thing of combining two acts, and it wasn't. But it was more like synth or techno with like rock acts, and so it's got this really shitty Metallica remix on it.
Yeah.
But it's got like this one rock track that's like a staple of like rock. Like that 90s rock stuff that's like on everywhere, and I can't remember what the track is, but that's like the only place to fucking find it.
Right.
And it's like it gets played constantly, and I think it's eventually got re-released on one of the band's albums or whatever.
Right.
But it was one of those things where like, oh, that's what that's from? Like that, like when I eventually kind of put that disc back in one day to check it out before I tossed it or went to go mine MP3s from it.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, that song's on here, and it was a collaboration thing, and I was like, oh, I always thought this was like, I forget what the song was. So one of the two artists,
There's a film.
The fact that something decent came out of the Spawn soundtrack is my point.
Right.
There was a film that Alec Baldwin did in the 90s
Liar.
called Heaven's Prisoners. Flopped miserably.
Okay.
But that soundtrack is basically labeled as a blues compilation. And there's Stevie Ray Vaughan on there. There's B.B. King.
Right.
I want to say... God John Lee Hooker, maybe.
Muddy Waters.
I mean, I can look it up, or Ed can look it up.
Two Shoes McGee.
But it's a really good soundtrack. Like I had that in my truck for a couple of years actually, because that's how really good it was.
Broken Leg Johnson.
Yeah.
And,
I have some breaking news that's just been brought to my attention.
Okay.
By Agent Palmer. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Any True Blood fans in here?
Yeah, no, this is not breaking. I saw this before the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I don't know what he's...
What was he talking about? The guy who died, right?
Yeah, Nelson Ellis has passed away. He
Yeah.
played Lafayette Reynolds on True Blood. He was only 39, passed with complications with heart failure.
Also this week, I kind of meant to put it in the notes, Stan Lee's wife passed away at 93.
Yes, yesterday.
And, you know, Stan
I think
Lee's...
she was 95, actually.
Possibly. You know, Stan Lee for years has told the story where, you know, like a lot of creatives, you know, about to give it all up. And she was like, gave him the old, give it one more shot. Basic, you know, I'm metaphoring.
If you're going to quit, write the story that you want to write.
Yeah. And then see what that does. And before you know it, it's like, hey, kid, give me more of those Fantastic Four. That was pretty good. And then from there, it all goes, you know. But, so, rest in peace. And, well, you know.
Easy Rider has a good soundtrack, too. Sorry.
On to Wesley's next question. What is the difference, if any, in the Ultimate and Special Editions of movies? Like Ultimate Edition, Special Edition. I think that's a...
No,
what's the difference between them? Is that what he's asking? It depends.
If
3 seconds of video.
A lot of times it's whatever studio's distributing the DVD.
I think it's like you never. There's no go-to, no qualifiers for that.
Special editions came first, and then Ultimate editions were basically we already have a special edition out there,
But we want to re-release.
So we want to re-release it somehow. So we're gonna ante up and give you the Ultimate edition.
Yeah, there's also anniversary editions.
Sure,
there's also, I mean,
Don't forget definitive editions.
Extreme Edition.
I will say this though, Warner Brothers really puts together an amazing Ultimate edition. Like I remember when they released the Superman films on a box set, it came in like this silver tin with a bunch of shit in it. There's like a copy of the Daily Planet in there and stuff like that. So if you were a fan of Superman,
you got some stuff.
You got some really cool stuff. That had one for Forbidden Planet. MGM produced that, but Warner Brothers took over because MGM, of course, had problems. And they came in with a little Robbie the Robot figure. You know what I mean? So when Warner Brothers is attached to an Ultimate Edition, you're getting something really good. So, but again, you know, there's standard Blu-ray releases that are labeled Ultimate Edition. You know what I mean? And it's basically commentaries and
I would say there is a very big difference between a special edition and a director's cut, because that means they're changing up the movie.
Right.
Special edition, it has more to do with the features that are coming with the movie.
Right, because that's what I was going to say. Because in the chat room, even Palmer's kind of saying like, well, doesn't it mean just extra features?
It's not just extra features.
Right. I think it depends because
there's swag in it.
Yeah, the Ultimate Edition. Right. Usually having more in the box.
And director's cuts can be special editions.
Yeah,
sure. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be the director's
hand,
cut. Right. Like True Romance is an extended version than what was from the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
But never think that the Ultimate Edition is the end, kids, because there's always the possibility of another edition.
Yeah, I have a box set of the first 6 Star Trek movies.
Right.
And the first 2, they did director's cuts with Robert Wise and Nicholas Meyer. But the other 4, they're just special collector's editions because they didn't screw with the movie at all. They just threw in all these bonus extras and featurettes.
Undiscovered Country has extra stuff though. There's 2 scenes.
That's what's different, is because those aren't director's cuts. Those are
studio forced.
You just said
no,
special collectors.
Yeah, they're collector's edition. But those are stuff that was added back in when they were released on TV.
Well, it was VHS when it was released on VHS.
Yeah, it was released on VHS
because Odo.
Yeah, Rene Auberjonois plays Colonel West.
Right. And that's not in. He's not in the movie theatrical at all.
It was on Epix last week, and I was watching it, And at the end, they kill the assassin, and he's like sitting there. And I've seen the DVD dozens of times, and they always reveal it. They take off the mask, and it's not a Klingon; it's Colonel West, who's played by the guy who later played Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Oh, okay.
That
guy
stuff,
from Benson.
yeah. But it's funny. I'm watching it.
Renee Auberjonois, something like that.
Renee Auberjonois. But
What he said.
God bless you.
Here's a tissue.
Aborigines.
but he doesn't. When I was watching it on cable last week, that didn't happen. They just moved on. Like, where's the reveal? And I realized, that's the theatrical cut.
Yeah, but you see how 30 seconds just changes the whole fucking thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a Klingon kills him in the theatrical cut. But it was all like a big conspiracy with the Federation to really frame him. It's like 30 seconds.
That's a major kind of a change.
Yeah.
And it's 30 seconds.
Yeah. And you know what I think the real reason for that is because between when it came out in theaters and when it came out on home video, Gene Roddenberry passed away.
Oh, right. That's
so
right.
I think that might have been, and like one of his doctrines is, the Roddenberry doctrine is that humanity does no wrong. Like that's like his thing. Is there's no conflict between human beings
because of human beings.
Yeah, because we've advanced that far.
Right. We're just that good.
Right.
The show is not about us solving our problems. It's about we've already solved our problems, and now we're trying to help other alien races get to the same point.
Right. We're never really like the bad guys.
And that's why he had a lot of problems with Star Trek 6 because there's all this racism that shows up and tension between. Kirk basically does not want to make a treaty with the Klingons. And then he realizes that a lot of people in the Federation agree with him, and it goes too far.
Right.
That's one of the best Star Trek films.
That's my favorite.
Because you know what all that is? It's all relatable drama.
Yeah.
That sometimes is missing because they're at a utopian type level in Star Trek sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they don't seem to have a lot of fallacy. Every character operates on this pure perfect kind of level almost.
Yeah.
Next Generation had more fallacy than slippage than. I mean, you guys could argue this.
And there's still character development.
Yeah,
all those characters go
absolutely,
places, but
absolutely.
it's all like personal and within. It's not about clashing with each other.
Right.
Nick Meyer, man.
So his last question here actually looks pretty fun. It's a little bit different for us. Are there any older video games you would like to see remastered? So sometimes every now and then they kind of do this once in a while with a video game.
Well, they're already doing one, Final Fantasy VII.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
They're supposed to be redoing that one.
Okay.
I'd like to see Robotron be done. Do you remember that?
The video game?
Yeah.
For that?
Oh wow, that's going back.
You see, I think that's what I got from his question was that we're going old school.
No, yeah. Well, any, you know what I mean. So it's just like for
Defender.
me, the name doesn't.
Defender, actually Stargate, because Stargate was expanding on the Defender idea. Same idea basically, but with the gates.
If they gave Space Invaders like a whole new look, like
made a story
with it, that'd be cool.
I'm surprised they don't do more of that.
Well, that would sell easily.
Well, that's what I mean. Just take a brand like that. Because I just looked up Robotron, and I'm like, this game? This looks like something you play on your cell phone.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Which they do now, probably. But the thing is that, take some of these older things, not Hubert or Pac-Man, but something like Space Invaders. There's no story really there. There's
reformat it.
Like a 2-sentence story, maybe, if anything, and make a whole fucking new world out of it.
Well, I remember my brother used to have a PS1 version of Asteroids, where it actually looked like it was in space.
Gotcha.
But it was the same game, the same concept.
Right. It's just real-looking asteroids, and that's all we did was shoot them. Right? No, that's cool, though.
Or Pitfall. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called Uncharted now.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, right. Well, it was called Tomb Raider for a while.
Yeah.
And then, right.
But I bet you that all stemmed from that Safari kind of...
Right,
oh, yeah.
But you know what? If you did Pitfall Harry...
That'd be great, man.
Pitfall Harry created...
a genre.
It created a genre, but it also created... what's his name with the hat?
Indiana Jones?
No, Indiana Jones. Pitfall Harry's a play on Indiana
Jones came first, actually.
Yeah.
No, because Pitfall Harry came out, it was like...
It was 82.
Early 80s.
All right,
82
we'll
or
settle
something.
this right now.
Early 80s, right?
I want to say 82.
Yeah, Raiders was 81.
I'm saying Pitfall is 82, I think.
Pitfall is 82.
Yeah.
Initial release date.
Pitfall 2 was a few years after that.
Well, yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark was
Bruce Campbell would be an amazing Pitfall Harry.
This one?
June 12th, 1981.
Okay.
But-
that settles that.
But point being, though, that I think what would be cool with Pitfall Harry, though, is that you take how do you incorporate those things that are intrinsic to that game, falling in the pits,
Right,
like
and stepping on the alligator.
right, and making it into a modernized version of that, like you know what I
Well,
mean?
they did. There's a download for it,
Like a fan-made indie
No,
game
it's not
thing?
even fan. Activision, I believe, went back and actually reformatted
Yeah, like
it.
PlayStation 2 or something like that.
It's actually I have it on my phone.
Nice.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I'd love to see it like in the modern Nathan Drake, Tomb Raider style. Like that, you're silly to sit on it. Like Atari should just be letting out the licenses if they're not going to make the fucking games like that.
I honestly believe that Atari will come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
It will. It's coming. I know
I think it's a matter of the role
They're going to be
people being in
releasing
charge.
the Atari games on a console like Nintendo did.
Well, that's how they're making their money now.
Yeah.
They're leasing them out to.
So whoever owns the rights to Atari is doing something with the stuff.
Yeah. Where we got? I think people in the chat room might be dropping some names of games.
Skies of Arcadia. Road Rash.
Road Rash.
Okay,
That's a good one.
And
That's a good one.
And Carmageddon.
Carmageddon. Not familiar, but I get a feeling it's Crash Up Derby.
Worm War 1. Do you remember that?
No.
It was kind of like Space Invaders, except it was
Right.
worms and you shot them.
Right.
What's the one where like you're from behind the guy and he's got like a rocket boost and he keeps under his arm? Proton, something like that.
The Bionic Commando.
No, that's kind of fun.
That's a good one though.
Or even Commando.
But they've actually been
Super
doing
Commandos?
that one. You can get that on the Xbox Live.
Nice.
Bionic Commando was cool.
I don't know, Centipede maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking Centipede.
Contra.
Blue pants, red shirt.
Contra with the Konami code.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
It was like left, right, up, down, A, B, start.
There you go. There you go, kids. Keeping it alive.
Anything from the Parker Brothers Atari catalog. Qbert was one of them.
There's a great I forget the name of it. I think it's Atari Game Over. There's a great documentary about the early Atari and the whole thing
rise and
centers
fall.
around them trying to dig up the ET game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
The
know
old
what?
ET.
Cosmic Ark. Do you remember that?
No.
Cosmic Ark was basically a futuristic version of Noah's Ark, except it was a spaceship beaming up to animals, and you had to do it and fight meteors and shit like that. It was a very cool
What
game.
you just reminded me of Yar's Revenge.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
That was actually a really good game.
There's
Or
a
Adventure. How about Adventure? Redo that game.
Wait, yours was that like a Denise Crosby thing?
No, yeah, Yar's Revenge was a video game for the Atari 2600.
Actually, Walking Dead brought it back a little bit because that's what Eugene is playing.
Yeah.
When he's in Negan's hideout.
I just looked it up here.
Revenge.
I just looked it up,
Yeah.
and I remember the screenshot from that.
Right.
Which is cool.
I was addicted to that game. I beat that game.
Yeah,
Sure.
That was a good game.
That'd be a good film if they ever adapted that because the story behind that is really good. No, there was a comic book inside.
No, I'm sure.
How about,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
how about the original Adventure for the 2600? That's the one that had the very first video game Easter egg. Where you had to find a pixel on the screen that was the same color as the background. And then hold the button down on the controller and then drag it through 3 rooms, including a couple of invisible walls, right? So that you could get through this one block that is now made invisible because you're holding this pixel.
Okay.
And then when you go through there, it has the creator's name in the next room.
That's all. That's all. That's all you get.
And that was all you got. But me and Dave, we heard about this and we
gotta do it.
We had to figure it out.
Yeah.
We mastered it.
That was the thing with those things too, like the Easter eggs. They were usually
Well, that was it.
nothing
After
great.
that, I didn't give a damn if the game was good or bad. I wanted to find Easter eggs.
Yeah, it was just like
exactly.
what's hidden in here that I got not Let's,
Well, how about speaking of the old school Atari games, Kaboom.
Kaboom was a lot of fun.
We had you had the water buckets you had to control, and the criminal was dropping the bombs, trying to blow up the wall so he could escape prison.
You know what the PS2 did? There was they released something called the Activision Anthology, which was basically all the Activision games from Atari, and they put it on this one disc.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And it had every single Activision game. Kaboom was one of them. Spider Fighter, Mega Mania, Barnstorming when you were in the plane going to
and
the barns.
They were so creative with what they could do with this crappy little system.
Yeah.
Because the Atari system, there was no sound, It was just like 4K. And
I'm still waiting for them to figure out what to do with this. Bring back this Mario guy. They should figure out something to do with him.
Yeah.
That guy's been sitting around collecting dust.
You know what? It's my favorite CinemaSins video. Is that movie? And there's a great like half-hour thing online about the making of that movie and how screwed up it was.
Well, the first time I was here, you showed that to me.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it anymore.
Yeah. No.
Joust is another early game.
that was a good one.
A lot of people don't even know that Mario's first appearance was Donkey Kong. They don't you ask a kid now, they're like, "What's Donkey Kong?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you say, "Get the fuck out of my face."
Go see a fistful of quarters.
Go use fucking Wikipedia.
That is one of my favorite documentaries.
With, what's his name? Billy
Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're getting
I get it. You're really good at that game. You still should not have that ego. You made some crappy hot sauce that gets sold locally.
It's the third most successful hot sauce company in the state of Florida.
Yeah, I remember that. I
It's
remember
just
that
what a
line.
dick he is.
He's the king of Kong.
He's just such a dick.
And a successful hot sauce salesman. You know what? He's an American hero.
Well, you know what? To wrap up the video game talk real quick, I will remind people that we are getting a Rampage movie. That's a classic video game that.
Well, you know what?
It's fitting for a movie in a way.
It's going to do well in Asia for damn sure.
Yeah.
Is it starring Rampage Jackson?
No, but The Rock is in it.
Missed opportunity.
The Rock is in it because he's in everything. And, I'm guessing it's going to be the three.
Ron Perlman?
As any one of the monsters.
As anybody, like the goofball.
As anybody in it. Right.
Well, I mean, he was the goofball guy with the weapons in
Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim.
Sure.
So,
there could be something in
he
here.
can reprise that role.
Yeah.
He's just got a little Easter egg to that one.
Always find a way to get him in one of these types of movies kind of thing.
Sure.
I got you.
We got Dwayne Johnson, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Joe Manganiello.
Yeah. It's a who's who.
The game you were thinking of was Space Harrier.
Space Harrier.
Chad.
Oh, Chad pulled that in.
Yep. Space Harrier, the guy with the right. He sat
got
on
the
the
little rocket pack on his arm or
That's
something.
right. And that was
He's like
actually pretty
shooting,
good thing. That's a Sega
And you're
game.
moving forward from behind him.
Sega.
And you shoot the dragons that were coming out.
Yeah.
Zaxxon. Now that's
There
what
you
they
go.
should redo.
That was the first 3D.
Okay.
Zaxxon was great.
The first 3D game.
Yeah.
And what's the other one where it's like it looks like a Disney cartoon? Golden
Golden Axe? No.
Not Golden Axe. Well, Golden Axe they should probably redo anyway. I think they have. I think there is a newer version. Probably like an indie game or something like that, lower, but the last 10 years.
What was the one? What was the first one? Was the first top-down?
Dragon's
four-player
Lair?
game?
Dragon's Lair, that's what it was.
Oh, the
Dragon's
first cartoon.
Lair,
That
yeah.
was the first cartoon-based
game,
video
yeah.
game.
Yeah. Dirk the Daring.
Around that same time, there was one. 4 characters could play. You had the wizard and the. You had the 4 stereotypical
Like Dungeons and Dragons
types.
Okay.
And you had Gauntlet.
Yes,
Gauntlet, right, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Gauntlet. They should do Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Open world MMO.
Mousetrap.
And it's a
I'm
shame they
sorry.
can't get anything to happen with Dungeons and Dragons. Like nothing with Dungeons and Dragons ever breaks through, like the mainstream.
Well, that's not entirely true because you get a lot of play now with the more hardcore Western style RPGs, which are more based on D&D.
Well, I mean, like as a video game, like adaptation or something like that, or a movie or something.
You're forgetting my friend Mazes and Monsters.
Oh, well, that's true too.
A Mousetrap.
Mousetrap. All right.
Well, that's Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It's basically Pac-Man. They ripped off Pac-Man.
Yeah, I guess
with
so.
animals.
Yeah, oh, right. Okay, yeah, I started thinking of the board
Instead
game.
of pellets, it was cheese, and the cats were the monsters, and you were the mouse, and then when you ate the pellet, you became a dog and ate the cat.
Right.
Burger time.
Oh, yeah.
Burger time.
Burger time.
It's almost burger time.
Remember when the band Journey had their own Atari game, Escape?
Oh yeah.
And then
Wasn't it like you had to like save like like the CDs or something?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying pick it up. We're gonna.
So
wrap.
Don't Stop Believing.
Oh, I was just gonna. All right, we're gonna wrap.
Yeah. So if you gotta run off, just
yeah.
give us the outro. I think we're gonna end with Burger Time.
Burger Time. Remember the song?
Yeah, we're gonna ignore the fact that Journey had a video game.
Why not?
Because it's Journey.
Hey,
Because
Kiss
it's
had a pinball.
Journey's cool, man.
Kiss had a pinball.
Yeah, good for them. It's pinball.
Journey was cool. But
Everybody can have a pinball game.
I've had enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. I've had enough of Journey. I'm not a friend of the band. So yeah, just saying.
They're doing a tour with Def Leppard.
Well, I wish I was deaf.
Speedwagon. two bands I don't really care about.
There you go.
I liked that Escape album. I was a fan of that.
Well, that's what I want to do
younger.
right now. I want to escape.
Escape?
I want to escape. I want to get the fuck out. So let's wrap this up, kids, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thanks for listening.
Fuck my journey,
if you're
man.
listening live, you can stick around, and the show continues. For those who aren't listening live, you can actually catch episodes, the after shows, on our Patreon for $1 a month. You get at least 4 of those, and there's already a back catalog if you're jumping in late to kind of check up on. For anybody who's missing new episodes of that, I got a couple in the bank I got to put up. I'm going to get to that over the weekend. And you leaned in like you had something. You were going to say something?
No.
You just waiting.
Whatever you say, Bill.
You fucking son of a bitch.
Did we do a Patreon for June?
Well, we did. We did it again. It came in too soon, and then I forget it when I get to the wire. Much like with the DC TV report this week, we recorded the Patreon special for June.
That's right, we did. We
at
did
the
it early.
beginning of the month, and so I had the whole month to fucking, and that's all it took
I would just like to apologize.
for everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's in the can.
Yeah, it's in the can. I just gotta kind of slap an image together and put it up on the account. If you want to check that out, patreon.com/Wicked Theory. Support us there. You support us everywhere. Thanks so much for listening. Check us out on iTunes, Google Play Music, and Stitcher. Wherever good podcasts are given away for free. And if you want to actually check us out, follow us on Twitter. Jay, where can people follow you out there? What's your name?
I'm at Journey at Open Arms on Twitter. Uncle Jay at Jason Chickley's on
There
Twitter.
you go.
I am at Edward O'Hare, TBD.
All right. Bob, what about you?
Def Leppard's one-armed drummer.
There you go.
No.
One-armed guitarist. A lot of open notes.
Who's a drummer, by the way?
No, I know, but Bob's never mind.
But he's because I play guitar.
Oh, right.
At Bob WTPC.
There you go. You can find me at Wicked Theory, the show at wickedtheory.com, and like I said, wherever good podcasts are given away for free. Thanks for listening. Check us out soon. And again, don't leave if you're listening live.
That's right, Bill.
Bob, take us on out of here. That's it? Okay, fine, fair enough.
To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, July 8th, 2017. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined. There was one new episode this week, and I have an animated retro pick for you. Here goes. Monday, Preacher. Flashback. Eugene tried convincing Tracy Loach not to blow her face off with a shotgun, failed miserably after burning her suicide note, and then became the Arseface we know and love. Flash forward to Arseface trapped in a dark and dusty hell with no one to talk to but Hitler. Back on Earth, Jesse scoured New Orleans looking for God. After being misdirected to a gimp dog, Jesse saved a nightclub singer named Laura from a bunch of crypto-fascists in white masks. Later on, we learned Laura was in league with the crypto-fascists and delivered her report on Jesse to Hair K. Star. Cassidy and Tulip checked in with Cassidy's grumpy friend Dennis. Tulip was trying to hide from her ex Victor. Last-minute reveal, Tulip was cornered at a laundromat by a bunch of goons working for Victor. And finally, we have our retro pick for this week, which is Batman Unlimited, Season 1, Episode 5. Batman and Nightwing gadget up to go against Silverback. First released on June 19th, 2015. This is from the animated web series, Batman Unlimited, which was mainly pushed on YouTube. The whole series is available on YouTube, and it was developed to promote the Batman Unlimited action figure and toy line. And the episode in itself is 3 minutes long, actually with credits and such, so it's really only about 2 minutes. And it says it stars Roger Craig Smith as Batman and Will Friedle as Nightwing. However, interesting to note, there is absolutely no spoken dialogue in this episode. It's just a scene of Batman and Nightwing fighting Silverback, the gorilla with frickin' laser beams. Talk about, advertising these days. You get exactly what's described. There's not much here, but it's really fun. It's done well. The costumes have a weird design with the drawn line on the masks, but it's still good old-fashioned Batman fun. Check it out. I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes. Have a good one, everyone. So that's going to be the DC TV report for this week. You can find me here on the Wicked Theory podcast live every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on Mixlr. Feel free to download us wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and visit us at wickedtheory.com. I'm Edward O'Hare, and this has been a Wicked Theory Studios production.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixlr.com/wicked-theory. Mixlr is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.